I'm Dan Hunt, and this is Up Close and Personal. Today we are live at World CryptoCon at the beautiful Aria Hotel, Casino, Resort, Spa, and anything else that you might want to get in there. Isn't it incredible? My guest today on the show is Gary. I'm gonna blow this, but here we go. Gary Berriochoa.
Whoa, hey,
I got that.
Good job.
All right, there's more vowels than there are letters in the name. He is the CEO? COO of Nexus Partners. You know what? We'll talk about Nexus Partners in a minute.
Okay.
Let's talk about Gary for a second.
That's a short conversation.
That's a short Gary, you grew up in New England.
Correct.
And you grew up in a, how do you say it nicely, an affluent neighborhood.
The island was the home of they had the summer cottages. The island of Newport, Rhode Island.
It wasn't even their home, it was their
a summer
cottage.
Yeah, cottages.
But you know, one of the things that we talked about was, as a kid, there wasn't a lot of work there.
It was pretty much a Navy town, had been since the late 1600s.
Right.
So no, there wasn't a lot of work to speak of.
But you were the ultimate entrepreneur.
Yes, I was.
You started at a very young age. Tell me the story of how you got in trouble when you were a little kid. Just go ahead. Tell me that story.
Well, the Newport Jazz Festival used to be in Newport every summer, and cars used to go. They used to go to the park, and it was about 2 miles away from our home. And I lived at the base of a cul-de-sac, and I realized at a young age that these people were parking their cars, so I parked the cars on the cul-de-sac, up one side and down the other. But then I filled up the cul-de-sac, and I realized that now I wasn't making any more money. So I happened to look up, and there was a sign that said no parking, tow away. And so I called the number, and I cleaned out the cul-de-sac 2 more times and loaded it back up.
And you kept calling no parking.
I kept calling, exactly. And I was young. I was very young. This was the integrity lesson of my life, and I look back at this as really a defining moment, because we had privets around our house that my dad manicured very nicely, and when we did something wrong, he made us go out and pick the privet that he was going to whip us with. So it was really corporal punishment to the max. But I did learn, and I had to work that summer for the tow truck guy for free to pay off everything that I did. So thank you for letting me share that. But it was a defining moment.
It was a defining moment, and it was a grow-up moment for you.
It was indeed, yes. Integrity. And actually, that's in business, which is where I wanted to go in life. Really, that's the bottom line. If you're going to do it right.
If you're going to do it right. And I like that messaging. If you're going to do it, you need to do it right.
Right.
Let's talk about, when you were a kid, who did you look up to? Who was your hero?
Oh gosh, I don't know that I had a hero to speak of. People that made a difference. It was more, I really didn't have a pointed person. My parents divorced when I was in my early teens, so that was hard. But growing up to, again, if you're going to do it right. People that would follow through with things. Of course, we had all of the Goodriches and the Goodyears and the Vanderbilts, and these people that had their homes. So I hear their stories, and you listen to how they did it. How did you become who you are?
Right.
So that was inspiring, because they are the people that actually help grow the country. Now, the integrity lesson was part of that. You don't have to do the things that they did either. So I just want to throw that out. Their hands were not squeaky clean, growing this country.
As a young man, though, you couldn't find really a lot of work on the island, so you went across into Connecticut, and you worked at on the base at building submarines.
Not on the base, across from New London, General Dynamics, Electric Boat Division, and built submarines. And
like Navy submarines, big ones.
Fast Attack, my first one was I actually built the first reactor deck for the Trident class submarine. My name is literally sketched on the deck in there.
Sketched on the deck in there.
Never find it. Yeah, so when everyone was saying they couldn't find a job, I went and actually found a job, which is life. It's not somewhere, you got to go find it.
You got to go find it.
Yeah.
And I guess that led you and your family to the Dallas area later in life?
I was still single. And I decided that that's not what I wanted to do. I wasn't, as I mentioned to you, I'm not a sheeple.
Right.
There was a hill every day that we had to climb up. It was about a 40, 45 degree angle, and I used to sing the working class here. I actually used to get a chorus going with everybody, and it was just like, you're dead tired, you just work, the whistle blew, now you're done. Well, you know what, there was more to do, and I had part-time jobs afterwards, and I decided that I needed to move on, and I decided I'm not going to build submarines anymore. And New England was a very difficult place to get anything started as an entrepreneur. I mean, you hit a 200-year-old brick wall before you ever got out of the gate.
Right.
And I said, well, okay, where's the fastest growing cities in the United States? And at the time it was Atlanta, it was Dallas, and it was Houston. I went to Atlanta, and frankly, watching paint dry was faster than unbelievable, especially coming from New England.
Right.
And then I went to Dallas, and unbelievable. I literally could stretch out, and you could take an idea and you could run with it before you tripped up. And and I've never looked back. It's a wonderful state.
But before you got there, you instead of going to college, you said, I'm going to take a couple years off and and get a surfboard.
I said, what? One day I decided, I quit school. I said, that's it, you're not teaching me, I got things to do. I said, you know what, I'm going to go surfing. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going surfing. No, where are you going? I'm going to Florida, I'm leaving tomorrow, see you later. And I actually hitchhiked to Florida, to Cocoa Beach, lived there for a couple of years, and then woke up one day and went, okay, I'm finished with this, time to get on with my life, and that was
Gotta ask, water's cold up in Connecticut, did you know how to surf?
Oh yeah, I've actually surfed in mine is 60 below zero. The chill factor was 60 below zero.
So you're out there no matter what?
Well, that was the dumbest thing, almost the dumbest thing I ever did. But that being said, yeah, and the water obviously is much warmer in Florida, so yep. So I did learn how to surf in New England, and the thing is, in New England, your blood thickens in the winter.
Right.
So you put a wetsuit on, you can get out there. You can't stay out there as long as you would in the summertime, but you can still enjoy the ride. So yeah, I did that.
You've been an entrepreneur your whole life.
Yep.
Looking for opportunity, changing opportunity when it wasn't there. You had a bed company, which was a retail bed store that actually built beds custom made on the spot. Kind of like Build-A-Bear, right?
While you wait, exactly right. Novel idea.
A novel idea.
Novel idea. I was so tired of people. Every holiday there was a special on mattresses, and you go in there and you lay on the same mattress, and they're going to give you 50% off the markup that they get. It's the same game, and I said, no. Actually, after 9/11, I actually prayed about that to find a job where I could actually, let me find something where I actually buy raw material, make something, and sell it. I was working on a project just before 9/11 that a revised ironing board that I was bringing to the market. And I had, of all places in the world to use as a resource, I was using Pakistan. They were going to make this board, ship it to me. Well, after 9/11, where's the last place in the world that you want to do any kind of business? And that was it. I was literally stunned. So I prayed about it, and sure enough, this friend of mine the next day says, hey, and by the way, if you know anybody who wants to buy this mattress company, and I'm like, what am I going to do? There's the answer. Let's go. And I checked into it, and I said to myself, I didn't know how to make mattresses, but I didn't know how to make submarines either before I started. So let's go check it out.
So if you figure out how to do it, you figure you can do anything.
That's right. Exactly.
That seems to be a common thread among the entrepreneurs that we interview here on Up Close and Personal. They all believe they can do just about anything. Is that how you feel?
If you can think it, you can do it. I believe that. I've seen it happen. Even today, if you look at what we have, remember I brought cell phones to the Dallas-Fort Worth market back in '84, and we had to convince people that cellular phones were coming, right. And that Dick Tracy watch, really, that's not a fallacy. That's coming. And so we had to explain this to people, and of course now look at what we have. We have all those things, 40 years later. So. Yeah, if you can think it, you can do it. And this industry now is exactly that.
And we're going to cut that little section out as a commercial for our course on the law of attraction, the sponsor of the show here. And that's really everything that my wife and I talk about in the law of attraction course is if you can think it,
there you go.
You can do it. It's all about your mindset.
Yep, I believe that.
So here you are now, later in life, and you got involved in blockchain. Really? How'd you get involved in blockchain? What the heck were you thinking?
So I'm driving. I got a 3-hour drive. So I'm calling people, just networking and talking with people, friends of mine. And I call this one friend of mine, Bob Wood. And I said, Bob, what's going on? He said, well, I'm working on this project called blockchain. I said, well, you know what? I've got about a 3-hour drive. Let's talk about it. He said, you ever heard of blockchain? No. Have you ever heard of Bitcoin? And I said, now that I've heard of, but I don't know much about it. So he started telling me this theory, this concept that he had, and we talked literally all the way into town. And then that was on a Wednesday, and we made an appointment to meet on Saturday, and we spent the next 5 hours on Saturday literally going through this thought of what his thought was. And of course, my mind's already running. What? Okay, how can we do this? I don't necessarily know what the product is, but how can we do what he wanted to do? And that was to start with an education model, so you could literally educate the consumer on what this new thing called blockchain and cryptocurrency is. And then on top of that, we built a loyalty program, a rewards program to allow merchants to actually be able to accept it. Novel idea. We knew those concepts. Now let's put them together with this new medium, this new movement called cryptocurrency. So that was that. We started there, and as a matter of fact, it was a week and a half ago when I gave my notice where I was working, and I started 3 years ago today to start finding the content. Not only to find the content that we could build as a courseware for people to understand, but I was learning too, because I didn't have a clue. I literally came across stuff going, I'm not a techie. I'm not an ops guy. I can get anything done. This stuff was going into that X's and O thing, and I'm far beyond me. But I was able to learn through it and actually pull out information that the layman could go through our courseware and actually become educated, not about our program, about how not to get scammed, how to look at the concept, identify if it has these factors, it's a cryptocurrency. If it has these factors, this is something I want to look further into. Because there's so many scams out there right now. This is the wild, wild west. It still is. It's very much like it was in the .com arena. People were throwing money at it, not even know what the heck they were doing. And the bottom line is, this is a movement. This isn't an evolution like the internet was. This is a movement. This is not going to be stopped. Right. Governments have tried to stop it already. They can't stop it. It's driven by the internet. You're going to stop the internet? I don't think so.
So if people want to know more about your program and about your loyalty program, Nexus Partners has a website?
Yeah, we've got several websites actually. So the best thing to do would be go to Nexus University. That's
University.
That's our university. It's Nexus with 2 X's in Texas.
Right.
Where my exes is. I'm sorry.
So that is in a link in the description down below our chart. So if you want to know more about Nexus Partners, just hit that link there, and you can get everything you need to know on the education course.
Gary at nexuspartners.com. I'll send you any information.
Send you any information that you need.
That'll work.
What's in the future for Nexus Partners and Gary?
Oh, there's a beach. There's a beach somewhere. Now, that being said, we are actually, because everything I've just described, this loyalty and the rewards, for everything we spent the last 3 years building it. We have a working model. Right. We are now in the process of raising the marketing dollars we need to explode this and to get it out to the world, literally. Let people know exactly what we're doing and what we have. That's where we're at right now.
Well, Gary, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for being on Up Close and Personal. We truly appreciate it. We are live at the Aria Hotel, Casino, Resort, and Spa in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are at World CryptoCom all this week, and we're having a great time. There's still some discount tickets available. If you watch this in the next 24 hours or so, you might want to click the link below, and you can come in and get 50% off tickets right now. What a great deal, 50% off tickets. So again, Gary, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm Dan Hunt for Up Close and Personal, saying have a great rest of today and an even better day tomorrow.